Hey there, future teacher. If it's been a while since you've studied life science and you have your upcoming Praxis 5005 exam, I've got great news for you. This video is video number 1 in our study material that follows the official Praxis 5005 study companion to a T. So you've got nothing to worry about. Grab a pen and a pad and take some notes while you follow along with the video. If you would like the accompanying study guide, as well as our 2 full-length online timed practice tests, make your life simple and click the link in the description below to get access to all of our Praxis study materials so that you can pass on your next or your first try. Without further ado, let's begin this lesson. Hi there, future teacher, and welcome to our Praxis 5005 test preparation lesson, teaching the topics you'll want to know for your upcoming exam, all about the topic around life science. This video is proudly presented by teacherpreps.com. Let's get started. This is the second lesson or second chapter within our Praxis 5005 test prep lesson series, where we will start with the structure and function of living systems. By the end of this lesson, you will have a firm grasp of the following topics. First, we have characteristics of living things, tissues and organs, as well as life processes. In this first chapter, we'll cover living organisms and how they share characteristics that define life and ensure survival. All right, here are the key characteristics of living organisms that you'll want to know for your test, starting with cellular organization. Unicellular organisms are made up of a single cell, just like amoebas. On the other hand, multicellular organisms are made up of many specialized cells, and we, humans, are an example of this. Moving on to metabolism, which are chemical reactions that allow the organism to obtain and use energy. Growth and development is the increase in size and complexity throughout the organism or the animal's life. We also have reproduction, which is the production of offspring to ensure species continues. Response to stimuli is the ability to react to changes in the environment, such as the light, temperature, or chemicals. Lastly, homeostasis is maintaining a stable internal environment, such as constant body temperature. Now, let's shift to cells, also known as the basic unit of life. So, beginning with this, cells are the smallest structure and smallest structural and functional unit of living organisms. They vary in shape and function. For instance, muscle cells are different from nerve cells. When it comes to the internal environment, most cells in multicellular organisms interact with fluid around them, not directly with the outside world. Furthermore, in terms of nutrients and waste, cells rely on internal transport systems in order to receive oxygen and the essential nutrients, as well as to remove wastes that they need to. Next up, let's discuss the way living organisms are structured. We're going to be focusing on the direct topics that you will likely see on your exam. And hey, if you don't already have your pen and pad out, make sure that you are following along while taking notes. All right, let's get to this. First, we have the cells, which we just briefly mentioned in the past slides. And next up, as far as the levels of organization go, we have tissues, which are groups that have similar cells working together on a specific task. And then next up, we have organs, which are structures composed of 2 or more tissues working together for a particular function. Followed by the organ systems, which are groups of organs that carry out related functions. And with that, we have the organism, a complete living individual composed of multiple organ systems. Now, let's discuss the four basic types of tissues, starting with the epithelial tissue. Its function is to cover surfaces, line cavities, and it also forms protective barriers. All right, so moving on. Next up, we have the connective tissue, which supports, connects, and protects other tissues and organs. The connective tissue has cells that can be solid, liquid, or even jelly like. For example, these include bones or cartilage or fat, and also blood. Next on the list, we have the muscle tissue, which functions to produce movement as well as maintain posture and move substances through the body. There are three types of muscle tissue that you'll want to be familiar with for your upcoming exam. The first is the skeletal muscle, which has voluntary movement and it is attached to the bones. We also have the cardiac muscle, and this is found in the heart. This muscle pumps our blood. And of course, the smooth muscle, which is found in the walls of organs like our digestive tract, as well as blood vessels. The last basic type of tissue is the nervous tissue. And the nervous tissue's function is to detect stimuli, process information, and send signals throughout the body in order to control its functions and respond to the environment. A component of this tissue we can think of as neurons or the nerve cells that transmit electrical impulses. Moving on next to organs, which are structures composed of multiple tissue types working together to carry out a specific function. Examples include the heart, which is made of the cardiac muscle, nervous tissue, connective tissue, and the epithelial tissue, which pumps blood throughout the body. We also have our lungs, which help us to take in oxygen and to breathe, and the stomach and as well as our intestines, they work together to digest the food that we're eating and absorb it